start this over as if nothing bad happened at all. Yes. Yeah. Nothing bad happened at all. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a stream. I hope you guys are doing well. And today we're going to be working on my Baroque and Rococo cathedral again. So, as you might have noticed, here I have done quite a bit of work. I've actually gone ahead and done a lot of stuff off camera. Some of it is because I felt really bad. I missed last month's stream. Um, just, I ended up getting really not feeling well on the day I was going to stream, and it was weird because it was the week after the week I normally stream, just because of 4th of July stuff. So I just took the whole month off at that point. So, but yes, the things that I was doing off camera is I was obviously trying to get the structure of this side of the cathedral done. And the reason being is I am planning on getting this done well enough that I can copy it and flip it, and then I can start adding in some of the more detailed statues and stuff, because this side is going to look differently from this side, but it still has the main structural base. So I've been doing things like making sure that I have openings that connect into the main area here. I have a spot for the spiral staircase to go, because that is the prime purpose for this room, is to house a spiral staircase, and then I can better showcase my statues up here, because otherwise they were too ambiguous. You couldn't tell what they were. So this lets you actually wander around and see the 4 beasts, the statues up here. For those of you who don't know, I am making this cathedral based off of, it is a biblically accurate rendition of all of the weirdness that goes on in Revelations. So the Revelation of John, he sees some weird stuff that most people know it as, you know, the apocalypse and stuff like that. This is what I'm doing here. So we already have the 4 beasts. I wasn't sure. You can see I have the eagle has eyes all over its wings. I was going for the biblically accurate angel look, and to be fair, the actual description says it has eyes all over, basically. I just wasn't sure how to portray them. For now, I just shoved a bunch of Eyes of Ender, but it doesn't really render the best from far away, and it just looks like it has spots on it, and I'm not sure how to better put eyes on this already busy statue. So it is going to be a little bit better as you're going to be viewing it up here. But even then, it's just like, why are there a bunch of Eyes of Ender on it? I don't know. That's kind of weird, Shells, but it is kind of a weird build, so there. Alright, so, some of the things I need to do. First, I marked this pillar because it's wrong. It is in the wrong spot. If you look at, the distance between that and the distance between that, it's shorter. I somehow done goofed and I put this pillar in the wrong spot. So we're going to change it. And the reason I want to go with that pillar location instead of this one, for one thing, this is too small of a gap. But for another thing, when viewing from back here, you can totally see that there's this window that looks really awkward from this angle. Looks terrible. And you can't see it on that side because the pillar's in the proper spot and is blocking it, and that's actually what I want. The window looks much better when viewed from up close at the correct angle. So we're gonna go ahead, because when I was placing these pillars, I was flipping them 90 degrees, so that way they were slightly different from one another. I kind of want to copy this entirely and then paste it in the new location. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do, is nab it and up here. Oh, it's going to kill some of my decor. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of the stuff that's in range of that, and I'll temporarily get rid of it, and then I'll put it back. Alright, now I need to go stand in the very center of this pillar and copy it. Now, the question before I paste the new one is, do I just do a complete reset and set that with air? I think I do. So we're just gonna set air, and poof, it's gone. We'll have to redo some of the floor and make sure that that's looking correct, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Alright. The question is, how did I done goof that so much? I think that should be right here. I think. Yes? Yes. Poof. Just checking to make sure that it is in fact symmetrical now, and I do believe it is. Hooray! And then let's go ahead and fill in the mistakes that were made. I've been working on this for enough time now that I'm just like, yeah, I'm getting into the flow of it. So I think that's actually been a big improvement. For a while there, it was just sort of like, every time I would log into my world here, I'd be like, oh, what do I even start with? I don't know. But it's nice to actually have a bit more of a direction to go now. That looks weird with the, I don't think I'm supposed to cover that bit. But that's where the actual floor, the actual oval lands. I actually had a bit of problem with this oval that I ended up having to deal with as well. I was specifically putting in this roof here, which this roof is a barrel vault all the way around because I didn't want to make it any more complicated than a barrel vault around an oval that's already complicated enough. But while I was doing that, I felt the need to actually measure each and every one of these ovals. So over here you can see I was doing all of the math to figure out every single oval to calculate its different sizes going up. And then, for some reason, it didn't line up with the oval I had down below, so you can see that this is what I had before. This is where the wall used to be. And I only discovered this after I had already put an entrance from this area into that area, and I don't know how I goofed this so badly to have to narrow it by like almost 10 blocks here at the widest point. I don't know, I think I must have just been like, I don't want to calculate another oval, let's just wing it. And I suspect that's what I ended up doing. Well, that's why you don't wing it, is because then I'm trying to put in a roof using actual calculated ovals, and it just doesn't work. So, but that meant that I had to narrow this opening, and it's on this really weird angle now, but it works. It'll be fine, because it's going to flow into a spiral staircase. Now, something I have to decide for this spiral staircase is how far do I want it to stand out, because I don't want it to be up against this back wall, because there's going to be a big statue here. So I need to give that room to have it come out, and then I'm thinking of doing an oval-shaped spiral staircase going down to the bottom. It's gonna be weird, and I'm not entirely sure how it will look having a big spiral staircase like that, but hopefully it's not too odd. But that's what we're going to do today, and the first thing I have to do is actually discover how big I want my oval to be. So yeah, for looking here, I would say that this is one of those things that probably should be calculated a little bit more accurately than just, saying, here-ish. But, here-ish. Part of the problem is I don't want this spiral staircase to cut off this entrance too much, but I also don't want it to be so small that it's just basically here. I want it to feel sizable enough, like it fits in the room. So that over to the center point is how many blocks? 19. So over here I just have to place this 19 blocks this way. So where are you? 20. I was close enough. Perfect. Alright. So is that enough space is the question. And some of it is I wonder if I should have it be out a little bit more. I don't want it to be directly in the middle is the thing. This is going to be a weird spiral staircase. I've never done one quite so weird as this, which is one of the reasons I've been putting it off. But it's something that needs to be done, and once I get the spiral staircase in, then I can copy it, flip it to the other side, and then I can copy everything that I have now and flip it upside down and paste it for the reflection, is kind of one of my goals for today. But something else I can do and want to do, and perhaps I should start with this because it'll be significantly easier, is I have a couple more of these windows to fill in. And honestly, this is just the same window copied over and over again. So I just need one more window done, and then I can move on to spiral staircase. So that's the plan for today. I've done enough of these windows that I've got kind of a formula down for how I make them. That doesn't mean that they're always good, and sometimes I have to modify them as I go, but especially the ones on the weird angles. You never know how it's going to work until you actually get it in. But the first thing I always do is try to frame the actual window here. Then I come into contact here where I think the frame needs to go right here, in which case I just delete that. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Oops. So how's everybody's summers been? It's been kind of hectic for me because my son went on a road trip with my parents, where my parents live on the complete opposite side of the country from us, so they drove down to come visit us, picked up my son, and then took him on a bit of a road trip, and then he ended up flying back just in time for school to start soon, so... But that means that my dad's actually been in town. He's been really helpful around the house, mostly helping deal with the toddler. So it's been nice having family over and to get a little bit of a break, because it's easier to take care of one kid rather than taking care of two kids. But I did definitely miss my son while he was gone. It's kind of a big trip for a 7-year-old to make by himself. Well, not by himself, with my parents, but away from his parents. That was way too high. There we go. I don't know, I find it's always faster to do it this manual way of just like jumping and clicking for when you're placing trapdoors, because otherwise you have to like hold shift and spacebar to hold still and click on it, and then you have to remember whether you're holding shift or space to go up or down, and I always mix them up. So... I'm glad that you like my cathedral tutorial. I hope I can keep making content for as long as I can. I know for a while I fell off there, and it's mostly because I had a kid, and I am a stay-at-home mom, and it's so I do what I can. I'll try to keep making content for as long as I can, but I think some of that depends on how much people want to see content from me, because, uh, yes, yeah. If I start putting out too many things that are just me, like, goofing off, then people are going to lose interest. Or if I just stop posting for a long period of time, I lose some of the viewership who care. I kind of worry about that with, like, my Legend of Alex world specifically, is that the people who are going to want to play it are the people watching me make the videos, but if I take 5 years to make the entire game, which, considering it's been about that long since I started this project, the people aren't going to be very happy with me. I'm very terrible at losing track of time. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't know how to make a four-pointed arch. Yeah, that's fair. I have had people point out to me, this is a note on the actual, the pointed arch, is that a lot of times they're half size. What I have is like for really large arches, and if you built the entire cathedral out of it, it would probably collapse. I've heard some people say that more of them should be the smaller squashed vault size. So it's one of those things that I kind of wish I could go back and talk about, to fix. The other thing is knowing that how to make the arch itself. Something I didn't talk about is that it's supposed to be two circles that are intersecting like a Venn diagram to make the pointed arch. Totally didn't mention that at all in my tutorial, so those things. But, oh, well, thanks for coming for a little bit anyway. So, but yeah, of course. Alright, we're making a window. So part of the problem is we have this situation where there are two center points, which normally you could do, you know, one right there, but the problem is that when you view it from the side over here, it's going to make it look really super fat. So I think I'm just going to pick one and call that good, even though it's not technically in the exact center. I think doing that is going to be a little bit nicer. And this actually balances out because while this is 3 blocks long, things that are on a diagonal are always a little bit larger, and so that the 3 blocks is actually a little bit more, it balances out. It's fine. So we're gonna use this as our center point for the window here. I tried to make these windows as bland as possible to you know, make it easy to reproduce even when I'm working on odd angles. But I wanted it to still have a little bit of like the wheel window bit at the top, so that's what I've been trying to do with all of them. I actually put that too high. And put the diagonal line in. I'm going to replace most of these with other stuff. Oops, that's not on the right level. That's not on the right bit at all. There we go. There. So then what I can do is start putting in my base blocks and kind of make a circle here, and then try to make things come off there for a proper wheel window. That one was definitely the weirdest one to make. You can see my stairs are all over the place there, but that was a weird window just in general. So this one's a lot easier because it's actually decently flat. And do I just do something boring like this for the center, or do I try to make it a little bit larger? Because that... Oh No, I think that's good for that window. You can see I went a little bit larger on these windows, but for this one, yeah, it's probably fine. I think the other thing to potentially do would be stuck. Okay, there. If you did something, oops, more like this, then that opens it up and makes it a little bit more round. Yeah, I think I like that actually. I'm almost wondering if that's a bit too big though. Yeah. Nope, I changed my mind, going back to the original. Can't tell you how many times I end up doing that. Build something, stare at it for a while, go, no, I'm gonna do something different instead. And yeah, that's like 90% of the build process. Oh, I can't actually place anything there. But I can place something there. It's a little bit thin, but it'll be fine. No, I don't like that side. This side has to be different. So I can't put an upside down stair right there because the trapdoor is in the way, and I don't really want to change the level of these trapdoors. So what do I do instead? What have I done in the past? Well, I think I've just gone up in the corners there, so maybe just putting a slab there instead. I wish I could put that slab right there. It feels like it needs to be a little bit lower. Something I can do is reverse this stair so that way it's pointing down into it a little bit more. And I might do that for this one right here as well. This one feels too forward, actually. I might move this one back to that. Oh, no! I'm just destroying stuff now. There. That's not bad. Yeah, that gets across my idea for the window a lot more. And then I just need to do my panes in the back. And we're good. I am going for a no glass window just because glass tends to have a weird texture, especially on these diagonal windows. It actually looks a little bit better to have it just completely blank. A problem I'll have to face later is I do eventually want to put an exterior onto this thing, and these windows aren't that thick. So I'll have to thicken up the windows when I put an exterior because I don't want a blue exterior, thanks. So, that's just it. I'm getting this to the point where it's done on the interior, then I'll make an initial, this is how you build the interior of a Baroque or Rococo build tutorial, then I'll build the exterior, then I'll release a video that's saying, here's how you do the exteriors. Problem is that the exteriors aren't that intricate, and I feel like it should be lumped in with talking about Baroque and Rococo in general, because it's not going to be nearly as extensive to talk about. But then it also cuts down on the size of the video, and then I can actually release this to you slightly sooner. And considering most of you have been waiting like literally years for this video, not quite literally, I think I'm at like 8 months or something like that, but it's longer than it should be waiting for a single tutorial video. Sorry. Alright. I think that makes a decent enough line. Even when viewed from an angle. Yeah, we're just gonna go for that. That seems simple enough. So I just skip one and do another line over here. Sorry, run out of things to say. Talking while building doesn't always work. It's the problem with doing live stream stuff, is that I have to come up with a continual things to talk about, and I don't always know what to talk about. Uh, I still feel bad that I missed last month's stream. I could apologize over and over again, but part of me is just like, I'm willing to bet most of you didn't even notice I didn't stream, but it still sets a bad precedent that I said I would stream every month, and I missed a month. Ah, terrible. And I think a big part of it was that I had several events going on during the same exact day. Um, there was like a brunch thing that I had volunteered to set up and take down tables and stuff for, so I couldn't exactly just like leave the event early or anything. I had to be there. And then so that took up that morning, and then there was a birthday party that my daughter was invited to, and I just that one I was willing to cancel, and it turned out or I could just send my husband to go with, but we ended up canceling partly because my daughter was tired out from the morning event, so then she ended up taking a nap right at this exact time the birthday party was supposed to occur. So, oh well. Um, just one of those things. But then I think the big kicker was that I, for some reason, had this weird neck thing going on. I don't know what it was, but like from the base of my skull all the way down to like my shoulder blade was just aching. And it lasted like that for a good week, and it would hurt to move my arm at all. And in light of that, especially since I had been setting up tables and decorations that morning, it came to the point where it was time to stream, and I was just like, I can't do it. So I did it. So, oops. Hopefully you guys didn't miss me too much. Alright, we're looking at 55 for the upper floor, so I'm just going to bring this up to 55 and do the paste. I think that's easier than trying to find the exact spot on the windowsill and doing a copy from the windowsill. That way I can just stand here in the middle, do a paste, flip it, paste. I think with that, the base of this stuff is all done. So, hooray! Something else I've been wanting to add, this is looking at the actual Revelation, is another statue I want to put in the middle. I think I'm going to put a large altar inside here. Oh, for the frames inside the windows, try using armor stands? Is that what you're saying? I usually try to avoid using armor stands when I can because I suck at placing them. So the in and out of that. I know that there's mods that help you be able to place them. I don't have any of those mods, and so a lot of it is just like try to summon it in at a certain coordinate, try to change its coordinate, and I don't have the patience to deal with armor stands for the most part. The other problem with armor stands is sometimes entities, like, you notice that these banners, they disappear when you get far enough away from them. I don't know if armor stands do the same thing, but I just tend to avoid it. Oh, you didn't finish the message, sorry. So not using armor stands, okay. But yeah, something I'm planning on adding here is another altar. I know I technically already have one with the our seven-eyed, seven-horned lamb lying on it. But I think I want to put another one with an angel standing behind it holding a censer, I think is what it's called, the incense thing. Um and because that's another part of the vision that happens at the opening of the seventh seal, is an angel casts a censer into the fire, and then throws it onto the earth or something like that. So that's kind of what I want to put down below here. I felt like this space was kind of empty anyway. I'm going to be putting the throne of God up above, but this gives something else here, which I, so the levels, I always come back here to kind of judge how I want things to view. So I'll probably have something to look at here is the lamb, then I'll try to get the angel to come more in this space right here. Then the four beasts on this layer, and then throne of God up above is kind of my goal for this is so, and I think initially when I was doing little preparations, I was trying to experimentally make a couple of statues. I don't think I'm going to use these guys that I ended up making over here. They're too generic. Um, like, they're kind of interesting figures, and they match some of the forms you would see from the Baroque and Rococo period. But the problem is that since I picked something specific to make for this cathedral, I don't think that these really match any of the things from Revelations. So I probably won't end up using these guys. But this guy I thought was really cool looking with his golden wings and his golden sword and dynamic pose. I think he turned out really cool, but there's also no angel with a sword per se. So perhaps what I'll end up doing instead is I'll replace his sword, keep him in the exact same pose, but then have like the chain coming down for the censer, maybe have it come sideways a little bit. I worry that people are going to look at this and be like, what did you try to build, Shells? And I'll be like, I don't know, something. But, you know, having him holding something like that, it would have to be a different color than his wings, though. There. So I don't know if I should do something like that and then set it on fire! But yeah, so that's kind of my rough idea, is just to take this guy and put him into the cathedral over there. I did kind of try to put in, I will be using some armor stands. I put in little chairs up here in this room. Looks like Cupid. Yeah, I mean, Cupid is an angel-like figure, so it makes sense. I put up chairs in there because this is supposed to be the 24 elders that are sitting upon their thrones, so I specifically had 12 pillars here, and then I had 12 spaces up above, but I tried to put the chairs up above and that didn't work quite so well, so I'm hoping to actually design them into the mural a little bit. The mural is going to depict there's different things that elders do. At one point they cast crowns, their crowns down, and one point they play harps, and I think the other one is they fall down and worship. I wanted to put some of those in imagery up here. Problem is that it's really hard to put any imagery without it like being obscured as to what I'm trying to do, since I'm working with pixel art. And you usually have to like supersize everything in order to make pixel art work, which this is supersized, but I worry it's not supersized enough. But I'll try to mess with it. What I'm going to do is go into like a paint program, paint what I want to look like in using the dimensions that I've got here, and then just splat it up at the top and try to get it to work and look right. Similarly, there's going to be a mural on this ceiling over here as well. Excuse me. Oh, something I also finished and did off screen is I did all of these little chapels off to the side. Hooray! These chapels were annoying because they were ovals that weren't on the grid just right because they follow the larger oval up above, so they're kind of a little bit skewed, but they ended up working out. I had to make them the exact same color as this room though, and I'm a little bit worried about that because one of the things that this room is supposed to be depicting is it's supposed to depict the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and one of the most pronounced colors of them, there's one that is red, and I'm worried that having a red horse on a red background is not going to look very great. Uh, but I don't know. I think the reason I'm keeping it red for now is because I've got kind of a primary color scheme going where we have blues in the roof and in the Throne of God area, and then we've got the deep crimsony reds that are in the pillars and the chapels, and then the yellows in the gold outlines. Yes, I've got some rainbows bits going here, but the main colors of this area have kind of turned into a primary color scheme. Um, and I don't know, I kind of like it because then you get a stark contrast between the red there and the blue there. I want this to look much more open and light and pretty, specifically because this is where the throne of God and the representation of Zion is supposed to be. Um, so, well, we'll see how everything goes. These ones are going to be when the seventh seal is opened, they have like 7 different things that occur. I say 7, but the 7th one basically amounts to it is finished, it is over, ta-da, it's done. So, you get the weird stuff, and I'm going to be building some weird statues in some of these. This is like where the weird locusts and stuff is going to go. And on the front here is, I think, where I'm going to put depictions of the weird 7-horned beast thing, and some of the other weirdo stuff. I don't know, I just like some of the weirdo stuff that you find in Revelations, so that's kind of why I wanted to build this very strange cathedral, but I'm happy with how it's turning out so far. It obviously has its flaws, but yeah, I should actually start building stuff instead of talking at you. Yeah. Alright, so what I need to do is make a spiral staircase size thing. Something I'm wondering is I'm almost wondering if I could reuse the same size of oval that I used for the chapels on this side. So I'm gonna quickly fly down. Got stuck on the window. I think this one is the chapel on this side. I'd say that one, but that looks too big. I don't know what that oval was used for. Okay, so that's the size of it when it was rotated at an awkward angle, and this is the actual size of that. That's really tiny. But the other one that I put in there, measurement 19 plus 19 plus 1 is 30, 39. So how big is this oval? 45. So this oval's actually bigger than what I have in there. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm gonna guess that I just used this oval, so I might just grab this oval that I've got here, splat it in for reference. 69. No, that's not the right. What did I use that one for? Alright, nope, I'm grabbing this oval instead. I've made so many ovals now. I am so sick of making ovals. I'm never building another oval again as soon as I'm done with this project. You can't make me. They're dumb. No, I'll inevitably have to build at least one more. Yeah, I've definitely been making lots of ovals. Where is my center point? Is right here. Yeah. Yes. Puppy. Fly over here. We need to rotate that 90 degrees. Whee! And paste spacer. Well, it certainly takes up more of the space there. If I have the final layer, if it comes around, I kind of want it to be going clockwise around this, I think. So that way, then it would go around this way. Am I going to build only the structure? Or it's going to be a story. But a lot of the story is being told with the actual statues. There's going to be lots of statues inside. I'm not going to build people sitting in the pews or anything, but I think doing the statues is supposed to... It's going to give enough of an idea of like the different angels and stuff that are described in Revelations. And that is the story, is the Revelations there. Alright, so I think I might just go with that. That doesn't look too bad. It's not interfering too much with these statues on all sides. 2 blocks away. 3 blocks away. Yeah. I just have to hope it doesn't get in the way of things like this, but that means that I have to start it, or at least hope that it starts somewhere down here on this angle. Now the weird thing is that the oval has 2... Actually, technically an oval has 4 vertices, but for the point of the layout here, I think only the 2 in the centers of the circles here matter for actually laying out where this spiral staircase design is going to go. So that's what I have to do, is kind of start figuring that bit out. So just to remind myself, that was 45. So half of 45 is 22. So what are you? Not 22, that's for sure. Actually, I have to put it at the 23 in order to be exactly centered. There. Because then when I come over here, do that, 23. So it's 23 on either side now. That is the center. Oh, I could have figured that out just by knowing where my center point on the actual build is. But then half of 23 is 11. So U to U, 12 to U, 12. Yep, so that's 11 plus 1 to make it the center point is how I end up doing that. So these are important to know. There. Because this is what I'm going to be basing the wedge shapes off of, is these center points, and then it will just be a flat staircase in the center here, and then curve around here, flat staircase, curve around, flat staircase. So I need to actually divide up this wedge shape stuff here, like I do in my spiral staircase video, but just not a perfect circle. So I'm going to go ahead and put in pink and blue just to give myself an idea how I want these, because I also need the 90-degree angle is right here. And the question is, I think I need to divide up that more, because that looks like that's going to be too fat of a stair. So I think actually this one is going to end up being a blue one. Oops. Maybe, yeah, like that. And then we'll have a pink stair here. Blue stair. Pink stair. Yeah, something like that. Question is, at what point do I just level it off? I think I just level it off right there. So right at this point here. That's going to just be the same, I think, over there. Yeah. Then, is this one going to be exactly the same? No, it's not, unless I elongate that by one more. Yep, I think that's what I'm going to do. So then from there, what I need to do is have an oval-shaped gap in the center as well. So I think I just need to make an oval that is this size. That is how big? 23 blocks. Alright, real quick, I'm going to run out and make an oval that is 23 blocks wide. How big is this itty bitty one? How big are you? 29 blocks. I have to make one even smaller. Alright, well, I can do that. Alright, trying to get the right size. 28, close. There we go. Line blue. Center point is going to be half of 29 would be 19. So I need to go to the 20 mark. Did I do that right? No. My brain's not working apparently. 29, half of 29. Come on, brain. My brain's not working today. I'm sorry. Normally I could do math like that in my head. No, it should be 14. So I need to go to the 15 block mark. There. That should be the center. So that to there, 15 to there is also 15. Yes, I can do math. And I have been, especially since I was making all of those ovals over there, I've been getting lazy and just doing some commands with this to making a brush to make my circles. So I've been bad and have not been making my own circles for any of this. Oh no, is this? Hang on. You to there. To you there. Okay, no, that's That's the proper center point. Okay, so easy circle. All we have to do is say brush a cylinder. Oops. And then it is going to be hollow. And we're going to make it, I don't know, blue, sure. Or I can make, I don't know. It doesn't really matter what color it is. Let's make it pink. And then the size is the radius we already know is going to be 8, but because it's weird, I have to actually subtract 1 in order to make it count, so it's going to instead be a radius of 7, and it's only going to be 1 block deep. So then I just have to click and it goes bam, look, there's a circle, haha. And then I just have to go over the other side and do the same thing. I've been doing this a lot. 8, there you go. Bam, circles. Alrighty. Oh, now we go, this over here should be 15. So what I do is I change the size of this. It's going to be a 14 instead. And what we're doing is we are looking at where it intersects with this center point here. Boink. And then we don't need this circle ever again, so we say undo. Goodbye. Oh. Here, I'm just gonna put it on either side and then do the undo. So that way I can say da right there. That's the point that we need. So this is one of the other 4 vertices to make our ellipse. And then from here, we are going to select here to here, put a G mask on of air, so that way we're not ruining anything. And we're going to say line of, I don't know, lime. Oops. Line of lime. And then we just, that's just a 2 block thing. We'll just continue that all the way until it reaches the end. And so we know that this block right here is where it's going to start transitioning from this circle into another oval here. But what we do then is we have to figure out how long this line is, and we're going to do math to do it. So this point to the center line, to the center line is 11 blocks long. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Ah! My child was using my phone, I could tell, because it had kids' games loaded up on there. Calculator, that is not my calculator. There it is. So I just put in a function. I'm looking for the square root of, in parentheses, 11 squared plus, from this point to this point, it's 19. So 19 squared. I'm doing this just to be precise. The answers, the square root of that all turns out to be approximately 22. So that's, a line is 22 blocks wide. So I need to, from here, make my thing here have a radius of, we're going to say 21 because we're rounding down. And we're going to make this orange, just so that way it stands out from my original circles. Bam. And what I then do is that creates this line here, but we're going to go over it with black because for some reason my black is my finality tool. So from this point here, we're going to then follow the orange line going around. Oh, I need to make sure. Oh, from this point it's following the pink line. At this point I don't need the orange line, so I just say undo, and that's my my oval. I have been making a lot of ovals. I'm getting much quicker at it. stand in the middle, copy, flip, paste, oval. Ta-da! So yeah, now I just need to drop that into the, my staircase, and that will be the hole in the center. That seems like a really big hole in the center. I'm kind of worried that I did not calculate that well. But we shall see. Copy one from one side, all the way to the other side. Copy. Fly. Peace. Nice hair. Oop. There. That's why. Let's rotate that by 90 first, and then we'll paste it in. Hooray! I think it's a bit too big. But, presumably, if I had it on the inner side here instead, maybe it won't be so bad. For some reason I thought I was making the ends of it all the way to here. That size. That should have been 23. I made it 29. Why did I make it 29? Why did you guys let me make it 29? I made it too big. Alright, we gotta make another oval. Hooray! I just love making ovals. Don't you just love making ovals? We're making lots of ovals. They're your favorite shape. You should know how to make them really well now. Okay. Center point. It should be 11. Actually, it'll be at 12, now that I think about it. 12. Double check. U to U is 12. Yes, correct. Half of 12 is 6. Oh, great. That's going to be there's 2 center points for this, isn't there? Sure is. I hate making these. So instead I'm going to be weird. This is what I do when I don't want to have to make a center point that's weird. I end up making a circle that covers this instead. So that is 11. So then 5 is, yeah, that's my center point. Hooray. Okay, making circles. Where's my circle-y brush thing? Yay. Okay. 5. Boink. Close enough. Boink. There. Cool. Alright. The center point to this center point is 13, so we need to now make this 12. And where it lines up with the center point here is what we care about. Okay. Line in line. Oh, so that's a 2, 1, 2, 1 pattern. So let's continue that. 2. Ah, that puts it at this weird spot. Great. My favorite. Love it when it doesn't line up exactly. Okay. So, brain, what am I doing? Oh. A squared plus b squared. U to the center point. 10, so let me hit my backspace, backspace, backspace. 10 squared plus 16 squared. The square root of that is almost 19. So we'll make this have a radius of, we'll try 18, and if it doesn't line up, I'll bump it down to 17. Pink. Yeah, see, that's too big. That's not gonna work. So that's when I bump it down 17. Boink. Yeah, perfect. Cool. So my black line is just gonna come over here. And I think it just goes around like that. Yay! We have another oval! We did it, guys! Again, I've had to make so many ovals. I've been just like trying to blast through them as quickly as I can possibly get them. Rotate 90. Paste. That's better. Much better. I almost wonder if I need to, at this point, transition, because that looks weird to then have a straight line through all of that. I almost wonder if I need to have this start to point to that, but that's kind of a strange spot. I don't know. Figure I can get half of, well, a quarter of the oval done, and then I can start actually designing the stairs off of that. So it's like Candyland. Hello, welcome to the stream. You watched my cathedral tutorial a few years ago. Yeah, I sometimes forget just how much time has elapsed since I actually made that tutorial. Thanks for coming to watch the stream. We're making a Baroque'n Rococo build. I'm building a spiral staircase that's going around an oval today. So that's my madness that I'm doing right now. I think I need to make these stairs 2 wide instead of 1 wide at this point, just to match the wedge shapes. And I think I just need to bring it in a flat line up to my center point, which the center point is right there. That's a problem. I have one stair that's going to inevitably be only 1 wide. Don't like that. The question is, do I shrink the size of these stairs down a little bit to make them 1 wide, or do I try to make them... What do I do for the painted ceiling? I haven't actually experimented with it too much right at the moment. My ceilings are being very bland right now, but what I'm planning on doing is designing pixel art in a paint program so that way I can more easily change blocks around and get colors just right. And once I've got, uh, I'm going to flatten this image because it is on a curved surface. I'm going to ignore that and pretend that it's all one flat level, and then just take the pixel art that I've got and smash it up onto the curved surface a little bit. Some things will have to change around here, but it doesn't change elevation that many times, so I don't think it'll wonk it too much. If it was a really curved surface, I'd probably have to think about that a little bit more, but in this instance, it looks flat enough that I could probably just take pixel art and splat it up there and it'll be fine. Um, so that's my goal for that one. These sphere rooms, the domes, are going to be a little bit more complicated. Heard you thought something's related to a circle and oval. Maybe could you share your background knowledge a bit, please? Are you an architect or artist? I went to art school. I started out with a graphic design stuff, so I took a bunch of graphic design classes before I was like, why am I taking graphic design classes? This isn't what I wanted to do. So I switched my degree to being an illustrator. So uh I was doing an illustration art degree for a while with a minor in English. So, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to make graphic novels and comics. That's what I always wanted to do. But while I was in school, I just in their introduction classes, they had me take it's an art class that went through all of the different genres of art and that they just blasted through. So maybe 2 weeks talking about graphic design, 2 weeks talking about something. But so during that, they gave a really brief talking about architecture, and I found I loved it. I thought it was really fun. But it's one of those things that I have enjoyed reading about and looking into on my own. So some of my art textbooks have little segments of architecture, so I bought more textbooks that are architecture related, but I do not think I would be capable of surviving architectural school. I usually sum it up as I love architecture, I don't think I'm smart enough, but that's not entirely accurate either. I think it's more I don't have the work ethic for an architect. You have to be like crazy on point and measuring every little thing. I am willing to do some math here and there, but it is not my strong suit, and so I think that I would get bogged down by trying to look up tensile strengths and trying to find the exact right angles for every little thing. I think I would go insane. So I don't think I'm actually architectural. I can't do it as a living, but I love architecture, so I'll happily study it on my own, and build it in Minecraft where I don't have to care about tensile strength. But yeah, so I'm an artist. The main thing I do is I do a lot of paintings, and and crafting and stuff like that. I'm currently working on my sister wrote a book and she's trying to get she commissioned me to make a the cover for it. So that's kind of my current project right now is trying to do a painting for her book. So but the main thing I do that like takes up 90% of my time is I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have 2 kids. One is 2, one is 7. And they take up a lot of my time. I think once my daughter is a little bit older, I'll be more free to do some of my own stuff again, but there's just a certain point in your life where you go, yeah, I don't have time to do anything I want to do. And that's okay. All right. I am already seeing a problem with my stairs. And that is that we're going to have a space here where people are going to run into stuff. Because if you'll remember right, these are all different elevations. So if I just put a generic slab here, I'll have a slab here, and then this will be one up, and then this will be one up from there, and this is going to be one up from there. So I hate to say it, but I should have accounted for that in my oval. I actually need it to be like covering up to this block right here. But the question is, do I actually run the calculations for that exact size of oval, or do I care enough? Oh, you're doing computer engineering, but you love architecture. See, that's funny because that's actually what my husband does or enjoys doing. He works in IT, but the main thing he loves doing is taking the hardware side of things and putting together computers and some of that stuff. So, yeah. Lots of computation and procedural generation for your builds. See, that's actually kind of a useful skill, not kind of, it is a useful skill, to be able to say, hey, the computer, I want to have you run enough tools that runs the math for me to pull up exactly what is in my head. I think you need both sides to make architecture. You need to have the desired, well, the creativity side of it to be able to make something new, but you also need to know enough math to be able to make it structural. I'm going to be a butt and make another oval. I hope you guys don't hate me, but this needs to be a little bit bigger. So just 2 blocks bigger in either direction. I'm so sorry. Yeah, 27. It's almost the same size as the first oval I made. I just need to combine the two, then I'll have a good idea of where it's supposed to be, right? Right? Okay, so, yes. What did I push? Oops, that's what I pushed. I was trying to push that. So I have these 2 ovals. I need something exactly in between. So both of these ovals are useless. I'm so sorry. Alright. Once more, and then I won't make any more ovals with you on camera, okay? We love making ovals, yes. Okay. It was 27 that we're going for, right? Yes, 27. Yes, yes. Have you tried Axiom Symmetry Tool? I have not. I've done some stuff with Axiom. I clearly have it on here. Ta-da! Axiom! I don't know how to make it work very well. I learned it enough that I could make the terrain for Legend of Alex, or at least be able to modify the terrain that I had made tediously with World Edit and stuff. And that's as far as I got. It is a very helpful tool, and so that's why I keep it on hand, but I don't know its ins and outs very well at all. Uh, what is half of 27? Hang on. I got this. 14? No. So that would make 8. No, 13. So then I should be going to the 14 point. Should be my center point. Double check. Yes. Cool. Oh, this is going to do the thing again. My favorite thing where it makes me have to do that in order to get a center point. Oh, the 0 slot, it's currently on the move tool. You can try changing it to a 4 square one. If I push enough buttons, then it'll pop up. How do I change it? Place tool, bulldozer. This is what I mean. Sometimes I am just incredibly incapable of learning new softwares. I feel really bad about that. Sometimes it's just how it goes. Scroll to the 0 slot first. Scroll to it. Okay, I'm there. Then press Alt. Aha! And then set up symmetry? Is that what you're talking about? Place symmetry. Do I have to select one side to the move some? What? R control nudge symmetry? Control F flip X? You can put it on the center point of the block. That's interesting, because that would make it great for doing that. How do I tell it where to... How far is my... How do I select things? What do I do? If I press R, what do you do? Oh, R and control. Try facing different ways, and then press Control F. What? Do I struggle with small designs or overly detailed designs in Minecraft? Yeah, a bit. Yeah, I'm not very good at trying to make the small stuff. I always struggled with trying to do like interior designs, trying to make like the furniture and stuff, and partly because it gets too small and busy a lot. So yeah, that's you're right. I do struggle with that. Okay. So Control F did a thing. Oh, disabled Z symmetry. I'll try placing blocks. Oh, does it actually? Ha, got it. Aha, I see. Cool. How big is the center point? Wait, how big was this? This was 13, so the center point should be 6. Plus 1 is 7. That's the center point. Okay. Let us make another circle. 6. Boink. Hey. I guess it doesn't interact well with with world edit controls. That makes sense. Alright, well. Next thing, this should be how many blocks? 15, so I have to make this 14. And where it comes into contact over here. There. Okay, that is my... So, an oval, there's a difference between an oval and ellipse. Ellipse only has the two vertices. The oval has 4. The third and fourth one just happen to be outside of the actual range of the oval, but that's how you get the circle that makes a curve between those points, is with the third and fourth vertices, is basically how an oval works. So what we're doing here, I'm going to draw a line from here to here. And I always look at what the repeating pattern is. So it's, so we've got 2 there, 1, and then a 3 there, and then 1. So I'm going to repeat the pattern by saying 2 and then 1. Didn't really matter. It all would have gotten to the same point anyway, but yeah. So this is the point where it transitions from the circle bit to the circle leading from that. But then we need to find the radius of this circle. So the best way to find the radius is we have to find how long this, and we could count every individual block, but because it's on a diagonal, it's actually more accurate to do math, which is why I end up doing a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So coming to this point, that is 11 squared. I'm going to bring up my calculator again. 11 squared plus oops. Where was that? 18 squared. And the square root of that is 21. So that we know that that is a radius of 21 that we need to make the proper circle that leads from there to there. So radius of 21, but we have to subtract 1 in order to make world edit actually work for some reason. It always makes the circle 1 bigger than the radius you tell it. Oh, and I like to have it as a different color than the circles that are down below, so that way I know what it's doing. And then from there, I can actually put in at this point you transition to the pink blocks. Oops. Yeah, I usually stop at the center point because then you can just copy and paste it around. And then I get rid of that big circle by hitting undo. Ta-da! Oval! That's basically done at this point. So how do I turn off the symmetry thing now? Just doing a Control F again. Oh no. How do I make it stop? Oh, delete to clear. Okay. Interesting. I don't know how often I'll end up using that, just because, like, it takes my brain a whole other. I have to think about it more to get it to work. Whereas, yeah, it takes longer to do do it by hand, but sometimes I'm not in the mood to think. It is entirely dependent on how willing I'm to mess with a new system. If it is really honestly saving me a ton of time, then I do try to go through and learn the system, but depends on how much I'm willing to look at it. Some of it is I have really bad ADHD, and I can only focus on some of those stuff for so long before I'm just like, nope, I'm out. Alright. Last oval. Promise. Back to where we're supposed to be. Okay. See, that's much better. I can see that that's going to make some much clearer lines. I am going to modify them a little bit. There we go. To make it more rounded as it goes around this curve. I almost wonder if, yeah, thicken that one up a little bit more. That's not bad. Oh, I still have this point where it's going to be one block wide in the middle. That's not ideal. I have a lot of patience. I would just make a mess and call it an oval. Well, see, I'm trying to be a lot. There were. I mentioned it earlier in the stream, but I don't know if you were here for it. I think I fudged an oval at one point. I had this oval that I calculated for the center here, but then I had to make an ambulatory, and I was just like, I'll just stuff in an oval. And so I made up one. I'm pretty sure that's what I did, because when I actually calculated it later, because I had to put in a roof with a lot of other ovals, I went through the process of finding each and every one of these ovals to make this domed roof effect for a barrel vault going all the way around the ambulatory. I ended up being, so this was where my original oval was, and that's where it was supposed to be. Something like 10 blocks out. And I had to, like, redo that entire design because I had to squish it in. So that's where I'm like, yeah, I'd like to be able to save time, but at the same time, I want to do things right, and especially since I'm doing this as a tutorial video, it feels wrong to just be like, nah, I'll do whatever, it's fine. The best Corinthian style. I was trying to put in the details of the those to make the acanthus leaves for the Corinthian style. I also tried over here, but they look more like lotus blossoms instead. But I kind of like the lotus blossoms, so I left them. But yeah, these were also supposed to be Corinthian style. That was the goal with them. I'm glad you like them. Yeah, what am I doing? I'm making a spiral staircase. What do I do about one being that? I think I might just leave that and just copy it all the way around. Decision made. So that's what we're going to do, and you won't even, yeah, and then I need to cover, make that pink. Make it pink, make it blue. Yeah, yeah. It does kind of hurt to have just all of the stairs be 2 blocks wide, except for on the center point, because my center point is only 1 block wide, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Oh no, if I copy that, it's going to... Is it? Oh, actually, no, it's barely not touching anything. We're in luck. Yeah. That's it, right? Yep. Yep. Ha! It's not touching anything. I can copy it. Alright. Copy. Flip. Paste. Oh, I still have my tea mask on from all that time ago. Didn't copy anything, I don't think. No, why did it do that? Why did it do? What have you done? Undo. Undo. Should be from this point right here. It shouldn't be running into anything. To the center point here. Oh, I didn't have the center point. Why didn't I have the center point? Okay. This should work. Copy. Flip. Paste. Minus error. Same thing this way. Same thing this way. Ha! And now I can delete the black wool. And now I have a big ring of cotton candy in the middle of my floor here. Alright, so I think I want the staircase to start at this point. And I'm going to be lazy and just have the staircase as one color for right now, because I only have the floor in one color up here. I think that's going to have to change at some point, but for now, laziness persists. Yeah. That was just on the same level, right? Oh, I can just look back here and see. Yeah, it was. And then it changes here. Okay. Whoops. I know, this is a lot of me just placing blocks at this point. See here, do I have any random topics to talk about? Because this is one of those moments when it would be perfect to chat about something, because at this point I'm not doing a whole lot of thinking. It's just matching the pattern that's on the ground, but going up one step for each and every one. This is the problem where sometimes I worry that I don't have the most interesting things to talk about all the time. That's supposed to be out. There. Yep. So you get to hear the silence as I'm just, you know, building. Oh, what do I do about that one? Because I have pinks that are touching each other. And they should not be touching each other. I think I might have to drop. Yeah, I'll pretend that this one is blue right there and have it be a part of that side stair. I think that's what we're gonna do with it. Presumably, if I get to go all the way around, if it ends up where it's on a bottom slab, when I get to this point back over here on the same part, then I can just copy it and flip it around, presumably. But I have to actually get to that point first. That's the hope. But yeah, as far as plans for other things I'm planning on putting on the channel, I think I still have a Bluey video I was in the middle of, and the reason I didn't finish it is because my mic died. I'm not sure if you can hear, but my audio quality is awful right now. So I'm hoping to get a new mic soon. ¿Por qué estás? That. Maybe we'll just delete that block. Nobody needs that block. It doesn't need to be there. So yeah, I started recording the Bluey one with the proper mic is the thing, so then I don't want there to be just like mid-sentence the audio quality goes down as I have to re-record a couple of spots. Um, so that's one of the projects I had in the works already. Um, the the other thing I have to do is I have to make trees for Legend of Alex. I've been putting it off. I at one point was having fun with making the trees, but for some reason, I think knowing that there are so many people that do way better trees than me, I'm so worried that I'm going to make these trees and people are going to be like, so? Or worse, they'll be like, those are ugly trees, Shells, and I'll be like, yeah, you're right. So I've been putting that off. But I also want to make a tutorial. If you haven't seen my latest Legend of Alex video, I made functioning doors using command blocks. And I want to make a tutorial, but some of it is I want to not just have the bit that was doing uh, the sorry, my train of thought just left. I don't want it to just use the clone command for all of them, because there are ways to make doors using falling sand entities or block entities that look really cool, and then you can actually move them to make opening doors or sliding doors, and I want to like get into that, but it's a lot of learning command block stuff that I don't quite fully know how to make it work, and so that's why I've been putting off that one too, and I just seem to be very good at putting off things. I think I should do a tutorial series on an architectural style. Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm doing Baroque and Rococo right now, is for that exact reason, is I'm going to be making tutorial videos for Baroque and Rococo. But a lot of those, I feel like if I come in with like half-finished or unfinished products, people are going to be like, how are you doing a tutorial video when you don't actually have anything to show us? So that's why I'm trying to build it all to show it to you guys. It just so happens that I picked the most difficult architectural style for this time I could have possibly picked. Uh, Baroque Rococo is like the top tier of the most elaborate, like stupidly elaborate building styles. And here I am trying to make it work. Oh, hey, Soup. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I think honestly the person I wanted to talk to for command block stuff is actually Ari, because the thing I want to put in the tutorial is something that I've seen Ari build, which was a door. She made a sliding door for me for the uh for my Legend of Alex stuff. But the problem is I messaged Ari and she has not responded. I know she was changing a bunch of like she changed her Discord name and stuff like that. And so I I don't know how to get a hold of her other than sending her a Discord message, and I don't want to use something she made without her permission, I think is the big thing. And then I'd also, because I'm making a tutorial video on it, I'd like to understand how it works. But I have to ask her about it. I think she still left it on my creative server, so I could like pull it up and look at it myself, and if she doesn't respond I might end up doing that, but also what I'll end up doing is crediting her anyway in when I make the video, just be like, okay, I didn't know how to make any of this work until I looked at Ari's design, kind of thing. Um, but part of me was hoping that she would respond to me, and she's going through stuff, so I haven't heard from her. Thank you, Soup. I still need to go over. Soup actually made a boss fight for my Legend of Alex world, and it's really, really super cool, and I keep wanting to implement it, and have him help me implement it, and then show it off to all of you guys. But I need the servers to be updated to the more recent version of Minecraft, because that's what I'm playing on here. You can see I've got the cinnabar and sulfur blocks that I'm working with, and all my Legend of Alex stuff is behind on updates. I think it's at like the version 1.21.4 or something like that. But I need to bug my husband, because he is my IT guy, and have him update the servers. And then once it's all updated, then I can actually start implementing the data pack that you made, Soup. But yeah, that's another video I can make at some point, is show off the stuff that Soup made. I'm always a little bit wondering how that's going to work out, just because it's not mine. It's weird to show off something that isn't mine. Be like, hey, look at this cool thing that that somebody else made for me. Yeah, but that's better than like not showing it off at all. So I'll happily show that off for you, Soup, once I actually get it done. Why does this look just like super derpy? I guess it looks better from the ground. Okay. I feel a little bit better about that. Something I'm not sure about is how I'm going to be making supports for this design. Something else I should probably try to figure out is, I almost worry at this point that it's going to go too high. And I did it on the side that if I try to copy it, I'm going to run into the window, didn't I? Barely, I think so. I think it's hitting into that corner of the window. Oops. Oh well. Do columns? Oh, for underneath the stairs. Yeah, that's a good idea. The thing with columns is that it helps promote visibility underneath, and just putting a bunch of columns, and it does make sense. But I'm almost wondering if I should do columns or if I should just make them solid all the way to the ground, is kind of the thought process. I'm thinking of having these be like pedestals that stop closer to the top of the, why is that one block higher than that block? Ooh, now that I've seen that, it's going to bother me. Oops. Darn it. Well, have that column come up to there-ish, and then start the actual horses on top of that, is kind of what I'm thinking of doing. I can't tell you how many times I've done things like this, where I build something and then I look at it later and I'm just like, how did I do this so wrong? So this arch is 2 blocks higher than this arch. And now that's going to bother me because they're not aligned. Darn it! How did I do that? The problem is that arch goes all the way through to the side, and I think I built it that height because I was making it even with that. So then if I shrinky dink it by 2, it's going to just come in the middle of the Corinthian column. How much do I care? How much do you care? I don't know. At this point, I'm so sick of... I hate saying this, but I'm getting kind of sick of fixing little tiny things about this build. There are a lot of things that just bother me that I just didn't do right when I was laying out stuff. Like the fact that, this circle, you can see the actual circle for the dome doesn't line up with my walls. I have it coming in here somewhat on the edges. and it does the same thing on this edge, where it would actually be cutting into this design in the middle here. I don't even know how that's supposed to line up right, and that's where it's like, I feel like I'm doing it wrong. So it's hard to give a proper tutorial with knowing that I did it improperly. Oh well. You think it makes it grander, for an entrance into there? Yeah, that's fair. And something else is that it actually comes up even with the top of this one. Something else I was considering is the only reason that was there was because I had one up above. Something I could do is chop it off, well, or wall it off. Just bring a wall all the way down there and bring a wall all the way down on this side. Why is that messed up? Why is that there? That didn't mess up that side, did it? No, it didn't. Why is this messed up? Why is it goofed up? Stuff like this! I just built this yesterday. Why is it messed up? I don't know. Oh. Is that... No, that's 4 in the middle? 5 in the middle? It's not a perfect build. It's not going to be perfect, and I have to let things go, and it's okay, Shells. It's okay. Alright, so the question is this on a bottom thing? Haha, it is. So I should, presumably, be able to copy this, flip it around to facing that way, and just be up on the edge. And I swear, this build is going to be the death of me. What block is the slab in the gold color? It's the brand new polished sulfur block. So yeah, polished sulfur slab. I have been loving this block. For a lot of it, I used to have a bunch of bamboo slabs here, but now it actually blends in the gold kind of tone without being obviously made out of wood. Yes, perfect. I am so happy for yeah. Am I going to use cushion blocks for the stairs? I think the use I could see for that is if I do plan on breaking up the pattern, if I want to make this a patterned floor, what I could do is I could put the cushions as part of the design for it. The worry with cushions is it is an entity, so the more you have of them, the more likely you're going to cause lag. So that is my concern with that, but that is a good idea for breaking up this monotonous, just like dark green color. Yeah, they are entities. That is the main concern with doing cushion block stuff. Like, they are really powerful and really, really cool. But they'll count just like having an item frame, basically. And if you have a whole bunch of item frames, eventually it's going to cause lag. So, really powerful, could have issues. Alright, this is going to snag the middle of that window. And I'll have to be okay with that and delete it, I guess. Except it's going to try to cut into my walls, and it's not going to be pretty. But I don't know how to isolate it unless I pull this out into the world and then copy it and then come back in here and paste it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Copy! Out of the build. Boink. Oops. Oh well. No, actually that's not an OL, it's getting the grass. Undo. Yeah. Now please. Okay. Oh, and I want to get rid of all of the pink wool stuff too. Okay. Where's the edge? Not there. There. Haha. Boink. Haha. Okay, that should be good now. So if I copy this here, presumably what I would do, this is just a test so that way I don't goof it, is I would bring this to the center point there. So that's going to paste it there. So I need to rotate it 180. Why? Because I want to block over, that's why. There! Haha! Staircase! Ooh, that's gonna look cool. The worry again is that how high is that in there? Because I need to know how many blocks is that going to go down. So from this point down to here, how many blocks is that? 56. I don't think this is 56 blocks tall, but just double check. There. $50. So it would come around just 6 more blocks from there. Where does that put it? Because that will not go all the way around to the point that it's supposed to be at 56 blocks. What I should have done is started from the top and worked my way down. That's what I should have done. But Shells is not smart. Darn it. I'm wondering if I bring this up 6 blocks, how does it do? Actually, what I should do. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's coming down to the diagonal. Is how that's going to work. I almost wonder if bring that over to the center mark. Rotate 180, paste. You're down a block. There, that's better. Okay. So from this point, where is 56? I guess I should be measuring from... yeah, alright. From here down to here. It's 28. Here. Down to here. 36. Oh. That was supposed to be 56, yeah? How did I end up messing that up? This looks about the right height, does it not? Gosh, I'm second guessing myself now. That can't be 56. I must have done something wrong. Hang on. From you down to you. 28. Yeah, totally off. Okay. I don't know where I got 56 from. How much was you? 24, so 8 blocks up from that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think it should be on like this, either this one or this one. Let me see. Where do you line up? 31, that's too high. So it should come to like, yeah? Maybe? Or down here. Oh, that's all the same block. Yeah? Or actually, it might actually be closer to that, the center point there. Right, not center point, the 45-degree point there. 29. That was what we were looking at, right? No. Wait. 24? Or is it the 28? I think it was the 28. So 29 is too high. So that. It'll be right there. Delete that. I think this is where it goes onto the landing. Problem is that that is supposed to be going to that side. If I flip-flop it, will that solve my problems? I'm just gonna... Oh, it's still on the wrong side, because it should be on that side. And I clearly did not get everything over here. Yeah. flipping it didn't work. How about rotating it? And then I can have it start curving away from it instead to then meet up with that platform. I worry that that's like right in the way of the door though. Maybe I just have a dumb spot for it to be. Maybe I need to make these stairs a little bit of a different size. Because if I were to, at this point... Yeah. Like, you can technically make it over here, but it feels dumb to have a staircase right in the way of my entrances, when it should be going the other way. What if I no. If I flip it that way. This is me just experimenting. Sorry. Flip. Beast. No, it's still being dumb, and then it's on the wrong side again. So what I have to do, I think, is I have to actually start from the top instead of trying to start it from the bottom, because clearly what I have is not working. Darn it. Wait. Oh, wait. Do this. That's how I selected. Yes. That. To up here. And we're just going to say... Replace the dark prismarine slabs with air. Imagine doing this all by hand, you'd lose your mind. Yeah. Well, there's a reason that I can no longer play without World Edit. I've come to rely so heavily on World Edit that I just cannot play without it. It's almost become a bit too much of a crutch, but at the same token, I can't imagine wasting so much time on trying to make build this every little block of the way. I suppose that's one of the reasons why I don't have a survival thing going. Well, I don't have a survival series yet, is because a lot of the times the main way I can express my creativity is through the creative mode with World Edit, and it's to the point where I can't even possibly imagine trying to build something like this in survival mode. I think I would drive myself insane. And it takes me months and months and months just to do something in creative mode. How long? I can't imagine doing it in survival mode at that point. So, I have considered doing... I haven't played survival in Minecraft in so long. Like, I think I haven't played since before the release of, like, the trial chambers. I haven't played at all since before trial chambers were made. And I kind of want to try to do another series that is a survival series because I want to experience it. and I haven't yet, but at the same token, I'm like, well, what do I build in it? I don't know. The main things I want to build are in my creative series. I don't know. Pros and cons to it, I suppose. Alright. I think some of the tricky bit is, how do I build this out? I might just shove blocks out in a vaguish line until it reaches that, but I feel like it needs a proper curve going into it. So that's probably what I should plan here, is if I do like a curve that's going into... I love this pillar here, but it is, boy is it in the way. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, sure. Oh, I don't like that either. I think that one has to go. And then it starts to cut like a line here. I don't know. That's gonna be a weird one. And do I have it be like staircasing all the way down through that? And I think the answer is yes, I probably should. So if I plan that out, it would look something like this would actually come out a little bit more here. Oops. Oh, this is supposed to come out one more block, isn't it? That's not the edge, is it? Yeah. So this would come that way, I think. I'm going to kill this all the way up to there because I'm going to stair step it down from that point. Ah, these are weird stairs. This is the point where yeah, there's a way to make precise lines and stuff doing, doing this, but, at a certain point you're just like, I'll wing it till it looks nice-ish. There. No, not quite. There. Sure. Yep. This is probably, again, the weirdest staircase I've ever made. Oh, I do not like that. And then I have that coming flush with the line there. Yeah, alright. Oh, I don't like how it transitions into that. Yeah, sure. Let's try it. Alright, back to my dark prismarine slabs. Thank you guys for being patient with me as I'm trying to figure this out. Uh, this is where there's sometimes I want to put things on stream that are really easy for me to do, like windowsills. Sure, I can pop out some windowsills, but then you don't really see some of my thought processes, the trial and error that goes behind creating stuff. So, but then I'm also not sure how much you want to see me flounder as I try to figure something out. But, yeah, in general, I'm honestly surprised that people even come and watch me, so I appreciate you guys spending the time, to come watch and see what I'm up to. Uh, here, I think that's how it is. Yeah, that looks right. Trying to make blocks that are following the pattern from so far away is sometimes a challenge, but, I'm not sure the better way. Oh, did you notice that you can now, like, delete individual slabs? It doesn't just kill the whole block anymore when it makes a whole block. It's so nice. I don't know when they made that change, but I am so happy that they made that change. Yeah, doing things while I'm working. Yeah, that's fair. It's kind of like, having even just a friend there while you're doing something helps so much. You might be doing completely different things, or somebody's thinking on their phone or something, but just having people there sometimes help. Mojang heard my prayers. No, if Mojang heard my prayers, they would put vertical slabs in already, dang it! They're making so many quality of life changes, things that people have been asking for ages and ages, and it makes me really happy. And yet the number one thing, is it too much to ask for vertical slabs? There are so many mods that do it. It would, yes, it increases yet another block that you have to deal with in the inventory situation, but uh making things like circles, I wouldn't have to use full blocks for making the circles anymore. I could have them be a little bit more nuanced. Just having vertical slabs. Things like doing details in my windowsills. A lot of those would be a lot easier if I could just put a vertical slab. But no, that's not a possibility or something. That's why when I did play modded Minecraft for a brief period of time, I think the number one thing that I enjoyed doing was well, the one mod I enjoyed having was the framed mod, where it essentially let you put in uh, a shape, and then you could put whatever block it looked like into the shape, and you could have not just vertical slabs, but even just like a corner or a wall block, and it basically just took the texture of whatever block and splatted it into a form of the smaller blocks that you could work with, and it was so good for making intricate things. I know a lot of people like doing chisels and bits, but the problem with chisels and bits is it's almost too much detail, and you can get bogged down with the details really fast. I think the framed mod was like the perfect amount of allowing me to have the freedom to do whatever I wanted with the shapes of different blocks. There are technically shelves in the game which are kind of like vertical slabs, but not really vertical slabs, because the problem, like, this is great for detailing, because it has, like, this curvature to it, but if you're trying to make, like, a circle where, if I were to make a circle, how do I show this off well? I'm spending too much time explaining my point. Sorry, bear with me. But if I were to make a circle like this, like the very rudimentary putting stairs here, and then I need a vertical slab right here. Then you do the shelf block there. It still is too thin compared to the outside. This would be better if my shelf block was actually the same color. Hang on. If I'm going to do this example, I'm going to do it right, darn it. But it's too thin on that outer edge, and then it also it makes it a little bit more curved, and even though this should be presumably a perfect circle doing this, it actually makes it look more like an oval because the shelf block is just a little bit too thin. So they work, they're great for detailing, and I love them, but I need my vertical slabs, please. Oh yeah, and then you run into the issue of if somebody right-clicks on it, then boom, they've changed your appearance. But yeah. That's one of the things I'm having to... I'm going to have to specify in, like... I ended up using shelf blocks for my doors for Legend of Alex. But I had to put... I ended up putting that one's not so bad because I put the interaction entity in the way of players from interacting with it. But it's still... I had to put that in order to prevent people from messing with it. The main one I'm worried about is honestly trapdoors. I have trapdoors everywhere for use. I mean, even just like these. And so somebody will probably think it's funny to mess up with my build just to do that, or they'll be cheeky and use it to climb certain areas just because I use them aesthetically. And I think what I'm going to do is at the very beginning of Legend of Alex, I'll have a note that says any trapdoors are not... You're not supposed to flap them unless they are an oak trapdoor, because I almost never use oak trapdoors. I think they're ugly, and that's like the most standard. This is a trapdoor, so I'll probably have it so that way if you see an oak trapdoor, yeah, you can flip it, and then I can hide secrets behind those. But I will not hide secrets behind regular trapdoors because I just don't want people flipping them. Hang on, I've been talking for too long. I need to get a drink. Part of me worries. I don't know where this is going to land, and I'm really worried about this landing somewhere down there. I really don't want that to, you know... I'm worried I'm going to have to change up these stairs slightly in order to make it work, because I would like to have the stairs end over here. There's a reason I started there, because having the lower side of the stairs be on this side just makes more sense. I just worry I'm not going to be able to get it down that far. I'm going to build this, and there's a chance that I might end up deleting everything I'm building here. I think this is the main reason I was so scared of this spiral staircase, is, you know, it's one thing to be like, yeah, I'm putting in a really big spiral staircase in this room, and another thing to actually make it line up nicely and look good, and feel natural. I might be able to do something where I on these stairs where they're too wide, make them one wide, and I might try to shrink them a little bit down if I need to. in order to get the look I'm hoping for. But we'll see how I feel about this first, and move on from there. Oops. Oh yeah, something else I've been considering doing. I've mentioned this before, but I'm bringing it up again. At some point, I have a backlog of I've been playing like Phasmophobia and Mecha Chameleon, and I've been thinking of making another channel for myself that is like Shells Gaming. So it's kind of one of those things where at this point I have a heck of a lot of videos to edit down, and then I have to do things like create a banner, create an icon for it, and actually set it all up. And I think that's the main reason why I haven't made it yet. But in case you don't want to just watch me play Minecraft over and over again, I do play other games, and so I've considered putting that. And then I could finish up Echoes of Wisdom and actually put that down. I think the reason I didn't finish Echoes of Wisdom was because YouTube decides whether or not it's going to recommend your channel based off of how well your most recent video did in relation to your other videos that you've posted. And when you have a series of videos that isn't doing well, YouTube goes, oh, well, I guess your channel is dying, and then just stops recommending your your channel to anyone. And so that was happening with Echoes of Wisdom. I was getting, like maybe, I was getting less than 50 views per one that I was making. And so, I was like, oh no, my channel's dying worse than it was before. So that's where, if I make a second channel, then no harm, no foul. The people who want to see that kind of content will, and I don't care if it bogs down the channel. Yeah, YouTube being YouTube. Because I wouldn't be making, I wouldn't be monetized on the other one. So, I don't know. I've thought about it. But hence why I have a backlog of a whole bunch of Phasmophobia videos mostly. See, I have a whole bunch of things that I want to do for my channel, but actually getting them done may or may not happen. I seem to be very good at losing track of time and just not getting things done. Oh, wait, one of these is a center channel. That one is. Okay. See how that feels going down here. I kind of like that, actually. So then it just will start to spiral down the actual oval here. That should be good, and that's leaving enough room for Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and it actually comes just below that line, so if I have the horse start there, that's a good space to put horses up here. I think that's what we'll do. Yeah. Now, let's hope it actually meets up with the ground in a nice fashion. If not, then I'll cry. I'll probably end up making these 1 wide instead of 2 wide if that becomes an issue. But we shall see! I can't just copy and paste this because it went off to the rails, so I have to actually start the oval bit now. Here. I think my goal is to get this staircase done and then end the stream at that point. seem to have stopped talking again. I'm so sorry. I can only keep up a string of random babble for so long. Which one am I on? I think I'm on that pink one? No, that doesn't look right. Oh, I'm on that blue one. Okay. Yeah, this should be the pink one. Yes. Pink one. It gets really long and skinny right through there, doesn't it? That's fine. Right. No. Wrong. What? Did I do that one wrong? Wait a minute. Somehow these are all off by one. Oops. Yep, there. It starts with this one. There we go. Wow, that gets really skinny right through there. I guess it's not too bad when you actually walk on it. It's just that moment of, yeah, big blob down to nothing. But then it'll blob up again, go down, and then blob up again. It's fine. I suppose the way to fix it might be to actually have this come a little bit away from that pillar. That way it feels like less of a blob. Yeah, something like that. That feels mildly better. I almost wonder if I need to shave off that one. Just like all of this. Yeah, that looks better. Alright. I suppose in an ideal world, I would want that to drop a little bit faster so that way it just comes down in front here. So, dare I do it? Dare I make these start going down faster? I think I do. It's all this work I just did. Ready to delete it? I made the decision. We're making these smaller. Oops. Let's come out one more. Theoretically, once it gets to this point, I can just lower that once I reach that point. But I think at this point, we're going to delete all of my hard work there. So it won't spiral in on itself like I would initially want, but I think getting it to drop and then come down will get the view I want better. I think. I hope. I will be very sad if this looks like really bad if I drop it down to 1 each. It just is descending too rapidly. That's the last one of that size. Actually, this one is going to come down 1 more there. Right? Yes, correct. Okay. So then this goes down 2 blocks. So not all is lost. I just have to grab this and say move to. Ta-da! That one is extra thick though. Yeah, 2. Yeah. Move by 1. And then we'll put that. Yes, these are stairs. I'm trying to make a way to get up to the 2nd floor here. Wow, that's such a dramatic drop. Ugh! Darn it. That might be too much of a plummet in the stairs. I mean, that looks kind of cool, but imagine trying to go down these stairs. La la la, we're going down at an even rate, and then straight down. Ugh! But doing this means that it will drop down faster. An 80-year-old grandma won't go up these. Yeah. Yeah, okay. The problem is the other ones were almost, they weren't going down the way that they were going, they would have ended up cutting off this area getting to that, I think. Challenge an 80-year-old in a wheelchair to climb down. Oh dear. No, I'm sad. I don't like this. I rescind my efforts here. I'm going to have to change it again. I mean, they did technically have elevators, or around that time, I think they invented elevators. When is the first elevator invented? Hang on, now you're gonna make me go down a rabbit hole. When were elevators invented? Oh, yeah, you're right. The first elevator wasn't invented until 1852, apparently, which means that that would be about 200 years after Baroque and Rococo period. Okay. sad face. So sad. Back to the lower elevation change. I just really worry that this is going to end up having it, like, land where the stairs will be facing this way or something, which is counterintuitive from where I would want them to face. I would want them to be able to, you know, have the people come in through here and start going up the steps right around here. But unless I make them even, like, even flatter, go down less, I don't think that's going to happen, is it? Hang on now, this thing is really, really thin right here. This is not supposed to be like this. Would it be easier to make a cylindric volume and dig through the blocks? What do you mean? There, I think that's what it's supposed to do. And the lips that you raise up from the bottom? My brain is not working right, I'm sorry. Brain no thinky. Something I could maybe do is, instead of having the stairs curve in towards this ellipse, I could maybe have them turn and start going this way. That way it would then come down and then just around like that. It would be a very dramatic staircase, which, to be fair, is kind of on point for Baroque'n Rococo. That is very dramatic. So, yeah, I actually kind of like that idea. So if I take it, I go from here to here, here, copy, flip, and then paste. Don't know how to phrase it. The bottom floor, you can place blocks up close to the ceiling on a flat surface, and then you just dig through the blocks. Sorry. Nope. I don't understand. I'm sorry. It's reminding you of ice cream, the pink and blue. It makes me think of those little cotton candy ice cream things that come in a cup. That's what it makes me think of. I actually have a bit of a story with cotton candy ice cream. I cannot stand it anymore. I used to love those little cotton candy ice creams that came in a cup. It was basically my favorite ice cream. But what happened with it is that at one point we went to, is it called Dollar General? So it was, no, it was called Cash and Carry. I don't know what it's called now or if it's the same company. It was called Cash and Carry. It was basically a discount store. They sold thing really, really um uh really cheaply. And they'd sell it in bulk, kind of similar to buying stuff at Costco. And we went there once and they sold like big tubs of ice cream. I think they were something like 3 gallons of, no, it can't, it had to be more than 3 gallons. It was this big cylinder that was just chock full of ice cream. And of course, as a kid, you come in there and you're just like, big thing of ice cream, yes! And so, like, my dad took us there and he ended up saying, well, you can pick out one flavor of ice cream and get a big giant tub. Um, and so, I'm looking at this thing and going, cotton candy ice cream, yeah! So we bought the big giant tubs worth of cotton candy ice cream. And it was the most sickly sweet, nastiest ice cream. It was like the first bite, you're like, cotton candy. And then the second bite, you're like, ugh. Oh, and then as you're just eating this bowl, it gets more and more just sickly sweet until it was just the most hideously disgusting thing you've ever tried. And, uh, we, yes, it was absolutely gross. After the 10th spoon is exactly right. A big bucket of pain and despair. I think that was my first introduction to the realization that just having something that's flavored like sugar isn't enough. You have to have other flavorings, or it just gets to be too much. Uh, boy, was that too much. Of the cotton candy ice cream. And now even the ones that are relatively tame, like I think those little cups of cotton candy ice cream aren't bad. I think they're pretty tasty, but I still can't touch them. I can't do it anymore. It was too much of that sickly sweet stuff. Uh, So, yeah, that was my experience with cotton candy flavored ice cream. We tried really hard to get through this big giant bucket of pain and despair, and we couldn't do it. Eventually we, there was a community fridge, if when you're at like, neighborhood clubhouses and stuff like that, they have a community fridge for you to put stuff in just temporarily for events. Usually you just put in like pre-prepared food and then you come and serve it for your party or whatever. We just left it in the community fridge and all of our troubles disappeared. Surprise. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe somebody threw it out, or maybe somebody tried to eat it. Either way, it wasn't our problem anymore. Exactly. So, uh, wonder if somebody ate some. Uh, I'm kind of hoping that somebody did eat it. At least then it wouldn't have gone to waste. Like I'm one of those that I feel bad if I end up having to throw out food. Um, and that was an awful lot of ice cream to be thrown out. But at the same time, that stuff was not good. So there's my cotton candy ice cream story for you. Yeah, I just think that these stairs descend at a much more reasonable rate. You're not going to feel like you're dying going down them. And they look pleasant too. It still looks like it curves funny down there, but I think that's just the angle. Yes, at least so long as the ice cream is put to good use, we're happy here about it. That's where the last time I took my son to an ice cream parlor, he ended up picking out cotton candy ice cream. And I was just like, no, don't do it, no. And then um, when he inevitably did not finish his cup of ice cream, he usually I try to polish off whatever he doesn't eat, but that was one where I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It's like, not cotton candy ice cream, not again. Why is this wrong? Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh no, it does come down here, and then it's the next layer that drops down. I see. Right. I see, said the blind man to the deaf horse through the disconnected phone line in the knothole in the chain link fence. Oh, elevate was the word you were looking for when describing the ellipse. Got it. Yeah, I was very confused. I'm so sorry. That's not... Yeah, do that. Again, I'm really worried that this is just going to end up trying to... It's like a snake, but it's gonna land in the spot I don't want it to land. The creeper behind me looks like an 8 from the book of Pain and Despair. I was going for the paint me like one of your French women pose, but creepers don't have arms. But I was trying really hard to get him to actually sit up, but he's too top heavy. Down he goes. Yeah, he's kind of sad looking. Unfortunate. Did you notice the pillow he's on? He's on a creeper pillow. Ah. I have too many creeper things. I also have creeper hot pads. Why? Because I made them, because I'm a big Minecraft nerd. The pillows were actually made by my mom. She does a lot of quilting stuff, and I was like, you know, the pixel art should be easy enough to quilt. Hey mom, can you make me something? So... The creeper hot pads were crocheted. Those were a lot of fun to make. At one point I made a really big creeper stuffy that was crocheted. But I ended up giving it to a friend, and that was an awful lot of work, and I never decided to not make another one. And so that's why I just bought cheap store-bought stuffy instead. But, you know, maybe at some point I'll crochet another creeper stuffy. I can crochet, but I'm not, like, the best at it. The main stitch I use is one that I don't actually know the name of the stitch, because I learned it from a 91-year-old lady that I met for a time. We were told to come visit her, just because it's good to visit 91-year-old people. They get lonely otherwise. And so we visited her often enough that she taught me how to... But she can't go up these stairs. She was a pretty hale woman for being 91 at the time. I'm pretty sure she's no longer with us, because that was over a decade ago. I ended up doing that. But, you know, I hung out with her enough that we she would always crochet hot pads, and she had a specific stitch that normally when you crochet it leaves really big holes in between, that just make it really hard to make it heat resistant. But her stitch ended up weaving it in such a way that it was a really complicated stitch to do. But once you did it, it almost looked like you were looking at something that was knitted rather than crocheted. And it held heat way better. And so I learned the stitch from her, and it's like the main stitch I know how to do now. But that's like the I don't know what kind of stitch it is, because normally for um normally for crochet stitch they have like the double stitch, or you know, the single stitch. They have different names for the stitches. um I don't remember what the name of this stitch was. Well, I don't know that she knew it. The 91-year-old lady, she was just like, it was just one I learned how to do a long time ago. It's one where you have to go down, anchor it up, and then wrap around, uh, anchor it again, and you end up with like 4 loops on your hook, and then you pull through, and then do a single chain, and then you have to wrap it around, go back in the same hole as you were in. It's complicated, but it looks really nice, and at this point I don't even think about it anymore, I just kind of do it. But I started making a blanket at one point, and I ended up hurting my hand working on this blanket, doing this really big, complicated stitch, and I never finished the blanket. And I intended to have it done for my my son, my first baby, when he was born. That was 7 years ago. Tells you how long it's been since I've started making this blanket. And then I never finished it in time. And then my sister had twins, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll give it to my sister for her twins. And I didn't finish it. And then I ended up having my daughter, and I was like, yeah, I'll for sure get it done for my daughter. And it's still not done, and she's 2. Just it's one of those projects I'll occasionally dig out of the closet and work on. I don't even know how I got on the topic of crocheting, I'm sorry. Oh, right, I was talking about creeper stuff. The creeper thing that I did. Tunisian crochet? Maybe. I mean, I could run, and I don't know how much you would care for me to run and go grab a random blanket that I've been in the middle of crocheting, but it's just in my closet back over there. You want to see it? It's probably at the point where I could just consider it done, and I think my goal was to make it through the skein of yarn I was currently on, just to get through it, and then I was gonna tie it off and just call it done. I think I got a little bit disheartened because somehow I ended up dropping a stitch partway through, and so like most of the blanket is this length, and then suddenly it goes, and I'm just like, do I undo all of that and redo it? No, I'll probably just leave it in, but no, my sister's done having kids. So what I do is I wait until my next child, if I have another, and then I'll give them the blanket. Yes, yes. Uh, yeah, part of the problem is I don't think my lighting is good enough to show the stitch. I could actually increase the light. I notice I'm a little bit dark here. I'm so sorry. Is that better? uh, yeah. Now you know why they call them grandma hobbies. That's exactly right. It's something that you can do just for while sitting for long periods of time. If I have to sit and listen to like a lecture or something, or if I'm watching a stream or something like that, that's the best time to just pull out the old crochet hook. But again, I hurt my hand really bad at one point. I think that's what has made it so that way. I was just like, maybe I don't want to be doing this all the time. But at this point, my hand has since recovered. I only have to the end of the skein left, and I'll just finish it, tie it off, and be done with it. And it's a good sized blanket. I'm gonna be a butt. I'm talking about it. I'm gonna go get it. Clatter, clatter, crash. Yeah. Come out. So this is the blanket. Can you see it? Sort of. It's, it's not any twin size blanket or anything, but obviously it's decent in size. Let me see if I can show you the stitch here. Let me pull out my skein of yarn. There we go. Yeah. Let me see if I can show you. There. Can you see it okay? So this will make no sense for any of you who don't crochet, but I have to wrap it once, come down and anchor it in the same hole I was just in, pull it up, and then I pull through only 2 of those, so I end up with 2 loops. And then I go down, I skip 1 to then go and anchor it, pull it up. Now I have 4 loops on my crochet hook, and then I pull through all 4 loops and then end it with a chain loop. And then at that point it's just a repeat. So it's not like the most complicated. That's the one your grandma taught you? Perfect. I love this because it makes a really thick fabric. One of my biggest issues with crocheted anything is that it has so many big holes in it that it feels like it just doesn't actually cover you at all. But this one does a pretty good job of filling those gaps because it kind of forces the stitching to go sideways a little bit. So they'll actually, if you look at the fabric here, yes, you can see the individual rows, but it almost looks like it goes diagonally in the rows. Anyway, it's really cool. So, yeah. That was a rabbit hole. It's peak for camping, picnics, or the beach. After putting that much effort into a blanket, I don't think I would feel right about taking it to a beach. Beaches are where blankets go to die. Maybe I just say that because I don't like going to the beach. I seem to have lost my way here. Hang on. Why does this... No, you're supposed to be 3 there, 2 there. That's why. Okay, because you're the pink thing. Right? Yes. I don't know, I've always taken an Anakin Skywalker approach to the beach. You know, sand. I hate sand. It's coarse and rough and gets everywhere. I think some of it is I also grew up on the in the Pacific Northwest. And anytime you went to the beach, it was always windy, it was freezing cold. You didn't dare step in the water, or it would be just like ice hitting your skin. So, and the other thing about it is it always smelled bad. And it wasn't just the water that would smell bad, the sand itself would just absolutely reek. And then the sand would get everywhere, including inside your car or whatever. And even after vacuuming out everything and washing all of your clothes, that for like weeks afterwards, it would just have this residual scent of beach. Uh, just I got to the point where I just hated being at the beach. My husband tried to convince me otherwise, like when we took our honeymoon, we went to Hawaii, and that was nice. It was certainly a lot better than Pacific Northwest beaches, but it's still just, I don't know, it's not my go-to happy place. My go-to happy place is take me to a forest. Um, a big, heavy forest, rainforest preferably. Um, you know, 50-foot tall trees or more. That, and then like have rain dripping through the leaves. That's my happy place. I actually had the place I went to college. It's in the middle of Idaho, and that was I really hated being in Idaho, and I think the biggest reason for it was it actually freaked me out that I could see all the way to the horizon without any obstructions in the way. I'm so used to being surrounded by trees and forest that it really creeped me out not having forest around me. So that's kind of where everywhere I live, I have to have at least some sort of trees by me or I will go insane. Oh yeah, even the smell is good in forests, especially during the rain. Yep, love, absolutely love forests. Whereas the beach, it's smelly, it's gritty, um, and it also, the other thing is I catch heat exhaustion really fast. If I'm out in the sunlight for too long, I can't do it. So, yeah, definitely happy to be under a canopied forest instead. Okay, that looks like it might actually land somewhere down here. That's not bad, because then it leaves the entrances to here unobstructed. Yeah, you might have to wander around over here first, but... Oh, you're in Africa, you can't dodge the sun. But you have good beaches. There you go. I have not been to Africa. I do not know what it is like over there at all. Yeah, I'm one of those pathetic people that has to carry a parasol with me anytime it's too sunny. So I have a really cute parasol I got at a Renaissance festival. It's like got like bright pink and blue flowers on it. And my children like to play with it. At some point it's going to bite the dust just because they keep trying to play with it like it's a toy. But it keeps me from frying. Is that going to make it all the way over there? now I have my doubts. I almost wonder if I need to replicate what I had over here. Well, let's see here. Let's count. That goes how many steps down from the middle? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. From the middle here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They go to basically the same point. Sorry, excuse me. I suppose the question I have to ask myself is, do I like the curvature of that one better, or do I like the curvature of this one better? I like the curvature of that one better. It makes me wonder if I need to conform to this one a little bit more for that side, but meh, I've already made it this far. I'm not going to... Oh, you watched the Past Lives animation! Yay! Something I need to do still is I need to try to send it to at least Martin, because I know that Martin is one who does look at the animations that people make. I don't think he'd showcase it on any of his videos just because it does use copyrighted music. But yeah, that's the main person I need to actually send it to. I just think it's funny that the Pinnacle has been one of my absolute favorite songs for a long time. Beat Up should have been shorter. I think I put him in the big lineup of all of the people. I think I specifically made him a little on the shorter side. But to be fair, I only have him in, like, the 3 scenes. I have him in there 4 times. The first time is the big broad view of everybody. Then I have him in the Cabin Boys, and he's sitting, so it's hard to tell how tall he is in that. And then I have him falling down the pit, the square hole, sorry. And then I have his death at the end. Sorry, somebody just reached in and grabbed a diaper. I think they're changing my child. It distracted me for a second. But I did try to make him a bit shorter. It's hard to tell though, because he doesn't have a good reference point in most of the pictures. To be fair, beat-ups didn't play the biggest role in a lot of the major events that happened in Past Life, and that's why I think I just didn't showcase him as much as some of the others. Honestly, most of the events were just around Grian, Jem, Etho, and Martin. The main ones. I'm beginning to worry that this is going to try to land somewhere over here. I'm going to have to start curving it back out to the side here, I guess. Or just, from this point on, have the stair go in, just a diagonal. More snaky. Yeah, I can only snake this for so long, and then it's gonna... be problematic. I might just do that and then have it go down like that the rest of the way. The staircase is definitely not what I imagined it to be when I first was thinking of making this design. And I'm still not convinced I like it fully, but we'll try decorating it and putting in pillars and stuff, and hopefully it turns out okay. Stupid staircase. The power of hope. uh, this is where what you're supposed to do is do the staircase first to figure out where it lines up to land onto the second floor. It's what you're supposed to do with it. But instead I put off doing this spiral staircase for far too long, and now it's going to look a little bit odd, I think. It gets a little bit dark right here. Do I need to poke another hole? No, because I want it to be a little bit dark at the entrance of this. But as I continually point out in my Phasmophobia maps, that never put lights on the stairs. That is the dumbest idea, is to have no lights on the staircases. That's how you end up with people who fall down the stairs. It's almost there. It's so close. Oops. Oh, it's almost lining up with the edge of the circle over here. Oh, I think that's too weird having it come into a straight line like that at the end. I don't like it. And yeah, if I were to continue it that way, it would be my worst fear, which is that the staircase ends over there. Guys, I don't know what to do with this staircase. I kind of hate it. Maybe I need to have this curve more, follow the curve similar to what this one does, instead of just, you know, curving a little and then going straight down. But I would like, I think it's, in general, it's extending too far down. Suitcase instead of lawsuit. $10 million lawsuit for the lights on the stairs. That would make a lot of sense. I was wondering what you were talking about with a $10 million suitcase. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. Here. Yeah. You're saying to make the middle part longer, like have it extend more around the circle? But then it wouldn't be following the oval, and all of that work making like 5 ovals with you will be for naught. It might be for naught anyway. I don't like the staircase. Hmm. Hmm. Or what we do is we have it snake around the pillar, go by the window, then snake around that pillar, go in front of the window, and then snake around there, and then we'll make it to the floor. I mean that would definitely elongate the staircase long enough that it would probably come down to about right where I want it to be, huh? 3 business days to get to the second floor. Look at all of these stairs just to go up a floor. I think part of the problem is that this size of stair would be for, you know, a player-sized person, but the way I've been designing it, I've actually been considering upping the size of the pews even because of to match the size of the scale. I think in order to make them like actual not player sized, but like to match the room, I'd have to make them at least be that big to make it seem more like stairs for that size. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to ditch the half slabs and just have them be full blocks. Because I am terrible and tend to have scale issues. Hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I need to actually just make it so that way each step is a full block down to then get it in scale with the build itself. And then it might actually make its way all the way down to the floor at the time that I expect it to. But we've already been here for 3.5 hours. And I need to start making dinner soon. So, I hate to do this, because pretty much the only thing I've done on stream is I made a single windowsill with you, and I moved a single pillar. Otherwise, I've been working on this staircase, but I think I'm going to have to delete it all. Darn it! Hmm. Hmm. I might put back the oval just because I think I do want to. She lost 4 grandmas to that staircase. I think what I'm going to do real quick here is I'm going to copy this oval here and flip it and paste it onto the other side just so that way I don't lose it. Because I think I do want to keep the oval itself. But darn it, I really wanted to finish this staircase with you guys. if you bear with me, I think I might actually just, you know, fill in all of these with blocks and try to make it work. What do you think? Should I do these staircases on stream, or should I call it here and then pop in next time and be like, look, I finished it off camera? What would you prefer? Don't worry about dinner. It'll be fine. Dinner will cook itself. For sure. Next part of the stream be stairs part 2. Well, except that means that I would have to wait until next stream to actually finish this, and I was wanting to get this done today, because then the next stream I want to be able to start work on doing some of the statues and doing that dome and, you know, getting things done. I can skip dinner. Dinner's overrated. Yeah, you say that till you have a 2-year-old screaming at you and demanding you feed her. And then all she does is drag you to the pantry and point at snacks, and then get sad when you don't feed her snacks. When she gets hungry, no, she doesn't ask for any substantial food. Inevitably, she's just like, Mom, I want Nutella! Give me Nutella! Mom, I want popsicles! I want candy! She doesn't actually talk yet, but, well, she says words here and there, but, you know, it's not talking, but, it's still, for somebody who doesn't talk very much, she can be very demanding. Mother, I demand Nutella. Yeah, that's pretty much what she does. She'll do a thing where she will ask to be picked up by, you know, coming up and being like, holding her hands up in the air. So you pick her up and then you turn her to face the pantry, and she'll just like point at what she wants, but inevitably she goes for those sweets and just points at them, and you're just like, no, and then she goes and starts crying and fussing and being a butt. You know, the way of toddlers. Because heaven forbid you tell them no for any reason. The worst part is when you're actively cooking dinner, and then she keeps trying to interrupt you to drag you over to the pantry to go look at snacks, and you're like, nah, I'm cooking! They're vicious creatures. They can be, that's for sure. They can also be super sweet and adorable, and you can't help but love them. But also, every now and then you get this this urge to defenestrate them. For those of you who don't recognize the word defenestrate, it means to chuck out the window. You threw it out the window, the second story window, with a heave and a hoe and a mighty throw. You threw it out the window. That's where, if you're ever playing D&D, there's a spell that's a command spell where you can, you know, give people, basically force them to do a single instruction of something. my favorite one, but it has to be a single word instruction. Well, that's when you say something clever like auto defenestrate, which just basically means throw yourself out of the window. You want to go back before knowing what that word meant. Aw, but it's such a wonderful word. It's so much fun. Wait, something not adding up there. Aha. Oh, I see. I chopped off the ones up above. Yeah, I should follow what I did up above instead. It looks better. Alright. Already see that it is curving down at a much more dramatic rate. That should, theoretically, make it all the way down at that point. Yeah, something I'm excited for is, like, after getting the actual base of the floor done, I can start putting in fancy railings and trim it in gold and make it, like, super pretty. Kind of like what I did with the spiral staircase in my spiral staircase video. That one I would actually consider to be a Baroque build. Big dome in the front, and lots of gold trim and shiny things. Yeah, that was, if you watch my spiral staircase video, my main area is very reminiscent of Baroque. Okay, that one is the one that is only one wide. And that is okay. I'm almost worried this is going to end up not coming down far enough, but we shall see. It's only dark because I have stuff directly above me. It'll be a lot lighter. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have like 50 million holes poked in the ceiling here as my sources of light. I'm doing it almost more, shading it kind of like doing a stipple painting where but in reverse, where the places I want lighter, I have the holes in the ceiling closer together, and the places I want more shadowed, I have the holes more spaced apart, and that's how I am handling the abysmal lighting that is Minecraft, because Minecraft is designed to be lighting for smaller builds, and I build things way too big for the lighting engine for Minecraft. So, I don't know, I think it's fun. Well, it's clever what I've ended up doing, but it means that there are so many holes in this roof. You want to see all my holes in the roof? My roof is also made of glass with, the different colors behind it to get the exact color I wanted. But anytime you see a carpet, that's a hole in the roof. Look, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. There's a whole bunch of them. This whole dome is just covered in holes. It's easier to see when you stare at the points of light on the ground. You can tell that those in the middle of the diamond shape is where I've put another hole. I find that the more I build, the more I find myself doing that for lighting for everything. It's just poke all of the holes. I feel like we're almost done. We're getting there, guys. Then I just have to select all of the half slabs and delete them. They're natural light sources. Yeah. Well, the way I see it is that Minecraft doesn't handle ambient light very well. When light goes in through a source, it will, yeah, it will project shadows, but it will hit a wall and bounce off of the wall. And so even with a single source of light, a whole room can be ambient lit. And Minecraft tends to do the thing where it's not something that they can really fix either. It's hard to do it without like having a really impressive uh lighting system, like lighting engine. And this is where you get things like RTX. Is the whole point of having RTX stuff is that it is supposed to better replicate light as it bounces around a room. And the fact of the matter is that it is very intensive on a lot of computer systems. So I see why they don't put in the ambient light in a lot of these. Is because they can't. Not very well, anyway. Um, I think the better cheaty method to do it is have a certain level of ambient lighting in the map just in general. But what that means is that it's really hard to get the really dark blacks. But it is still possible. Then the way you know it is possible is that's kind of what they do in the Nether. When you go into the Nether, there is a certain light level that even though the light level is at 0, you have enough ambient lighting that you can actually see something. But what that means is that if you do that in caves, the caves can potentially look a lot less dramatic because then they're not going into full shadow. So I get the pros and cons for why they do it the way they do it. But I think the problem that they have is they only have 15 levels of light, so the light drops off to 0 too quickly. In my opinion. They could have this same system of light if it just was expanded a little bit more and let like torches and light sources emit more light. But oh, yeah, just move the build to the Nether. I mean, I've considered it for some of my larger builds. The main problem with the Nether is they have the added problem of they put too thick of fog. I love the fog effects that they have in the Nether, but it's too much. I wish that there was a way to change the distance of the fog in the Nether. And I've seen some people put in a mod that just removes the fog, and that kind of makes me sad because it removes some of the atmosphere, but I think it's a little bit too thick of fog. Oh, yeah. The end also has the same ambient. You're right. So, yeah, putting a large build in the end is a decent way of dealing with that. At least until they've decided to put in well, not stupid. I shouldn't call it stupid. But I did think it was kind of an odd choice to have the weird purple flashes that light up the end every now and then. I do agree that the end needed something more to make it a little bit more ethereal, but random purple flashes that mess up with the colors of everything was would not have been my first choice. Gave some whimsy and magic vibes. Yeah, I think what they need to do is have a way to choose whether to turn them off or not. But yeah, all in all, not my favorite look, especially since there aren't very many blocks in the game that are purple. They don't have really strong purpley vibes just in Minecraft in general, so then it feels like an odd choice. It makes it really hard to make builds that mesh well with having a purple light on them. Hey, it ended right at the 45-degree angle here. That's not bad. It does make that much less of a spiral staircase, doesn't it? Can't even hardly call it a spiral staircase. Oh, I need to delete the other one. You have an idea? What is your idea? Grab number 5. Go up ahead and try this one for us. Before I delete it, make the surface flat at the middle. You mean here? Like, flatten it out and then have it come down, and then flatten it out and then come down? Is that what you're saying? While using the half blocks still? And it would come here, slip here. I worry that that would be too, not going down far enough. You'd hit your head, as it wraps around. Oh, you mean use half blocks in the straight way? Half slabs? Oh. I don't know. Yeah, the slab. That's it. Well, it's certainly a grand staircase still. Oh yeah, and goodbye cotton candy floor. You served me well. I have to pretend I'm well, here's what I do is I ride a horse, so that way it'll have the height to bring me. Or what I do is I increase my size and increase the block stepping height and increase my speed. You know, didn't I do a video like this before? I feel like I have. Scale issues. I feel like I need something to go in the middle if I'm gonna do this. Which You know, I have a thought for a statue I could put in the middle on this side. What would I do on this side instead? I could do the fifth seal. I don't have the fifth seal anywhere. I had vague ideas of having it be part of the altar in the main bit, but it would make sense to have this instead of being so every horseman of the apocalypse is a single seal. So, you know, that would be the 4 seals plus the 5th one in the middle. That could work. And then this is devoted entirely to the 6th seal, and then all of these chapels are devoted to the 7th seal. That would work. Yeah, having a big horizontal line isn't the most, well, not, you know, the not horizontal, big diagonal line cutting across isn't the most attractive thing there. But it will also be broken up a little bit by having a big horse right there. But yeah, but that would mean that you have something to look at up here, but not down here. So probably having something down here. It could work. I could see it working. Um, oh, the ceiling looks beautiful. I'm glad that you like it. I still need to actually figure out what to do for a mural up there. I have an idea for what to do for the mural on the dome ceiling on the other side, because that's the 6th seal is where you have um, the moon turning, so here, I think the moon just turns black, the sun turns red, and then, you have the stars fall from the sky. It uses the example of like a fig tree casting off its fruit, so I was thinking of having a mural of a great big fig tree with stars falling from it. But that's all going to be in the 6th seal room, not in this room. So then I'm like, well, what do I put in the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse room? I don't know, it might just end up kind of blank and boring. But yeah, the colors were fun to get because I had to, like, actively put glass in front of different colors in order to get these colors of blue. That's another thing that I really desperately wish for, is I wish for more colors of, like, a really dark, rich blue. Because the you could argue that blue terracotta is dark, but it's like if you compare it to the next darkest blue block, which is yeah, you can go from like the problem is that it's a very desaturated dark, and for the other thing, if you actually look at the value next to lapis, it's almost the same value as lapis. It's just a desaturated form of lapis. So then when you try to compare that to, say, obsidian, which is a dark purple, actually, it's too much of a gap. And there's nothing to bridge that gap, and you don't get anything darker of a blue than blue concrete, and that is a huge gap there. So what I really would want is a nice dark rich blue color, and they just don't have that at all in their spectrum. uh You don't want your 6th grandma too distracted with ceiling and tripping over. Actually, that's the whole point of Baroque and Rococo, is to force you to look up at the ceiling. That's why they put murals on the ceiling. The idea is that you are looking up as if looking into heaven. It's the same reason that they put in pretty vaults in Gothic architecture. They put that to the extreme. They actually usually have like, they'll have decent details down below below, but they really want you to draw the eye upwards, is what they're trying to do with it. And that's where they also have illusionist ceilings where they paint it to look like the sky. So that way, even though you're indoors, it feels as though you are looking up into eternity up there. So, yeah, that's kind of the goal with these ceilings. So I feel like I need to have something up there in this room, and that's where the horses actually help to lead your eye upwards as well. But I, yeah, I got nothing. The only thing the people make a big deal about the four horsemen of the apocalypse, but they get almost zero description compared to everything else that's described in Revelations. Um, like the first one is the white horse with a man with a crown and a bow and arrow, and he's sent forth to conquer. And the next one is war. Well, what people call war. It's not actually explicitly stated as such in Revelations, but it is a red horse with a man with a sword and you know, meant to slay and kill. And then the third one is the what is the third one? I swear I know these. Fourth one is death. That one's the pale horse. No, I remember. The fourth one is the black horse, and the man has a set of scales that he's holding. And then you have this really weird statement of like a voice calls from heaven saying, "A penny for a barley, but see that you hurt not the wine," or something really obscure like that. And it's that's where the one people tend to call pestilence. It's the idea of having economic trials, I guess, question mark. I don't know. And then the fourth one is a pale horse, and the person who's riding it is named Death, and he causes death to be throughout the land. And that's all you get. That is everything you get on the entire description of the four horsemen. The fifth seal isn't much better. The fifth seal is basically that there's an altar and a whole bunch of people holding up the altar and crying to the Lord, asking for, when is it going to be over, Lord, basically. And then they all get clothed in white robes and are brought up to heaven. Yeah. And then it's not till the sixth seal that things get interesting. And then after the sixth seal is the seventh seal, which is the most interesting, bizarre things that happen. So, uh, yeah, there's a rundown of the seven seals for you. Um, so it's interesting. Something that I want to do with this cathedral is after I've built everything, I'm going to be putting down lecterns that then just placed in front of all of my statues to describe what the all of the statues are of, and give a quote the actual reference to them that I'm using, because I think people would find that interesting. I know not everybody has read through all of Revelations, so for the layman who hasn't read it, they can kind of, look around, see what's interesting. More controversial would be if I wanted to put something that lists like my personal thoughts and interpretations on some of it, but I think some of it would turn into, I don't know. And I think the other thing is that there are so many different scholars that all have their own different ideas on it that I almost feel inadequate to post my own thoughts on some of them. But yeah, what do I do for the mural on the ceiling for this one? I don't know. I mean, you say that they tended to burn people alive for their own interpretations, and yet you get people who gave their own interpretations all the time, and like even the fact that people call them the four horsemen of the apocalypse and gave them names, um the like war, pestilence, and death. It's or famine or any of those. It's amazing how many people have taken the revelation that was given and have given it their own interpretations and life to it anyway. Uh, so I sincerely doubt I'll be struck by down with lightning or anything for it, but maybe for this for presenting this to everyone, I'll probably just give the what I've built and then give the description I was basing it off of for all of it and not try to add any sort of interpretation. But yeah, I suppose I should go ahead and call it there. It has been a long stream, so yeah, it's almost 6 o'clock. I've been streaming for 4 hours now. Woo! There's a reference to the four horsemen of the apocalypse in Minecraft. Is that the skeleton horse, or what are you referring to? I think you're just referring to the skeleton horse and that four horsemen pop out when lightning strikes them when you approach. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, if there's a lightning on a mob, it spawns four horsemen. Yeah, that's the skeleton horse breeding stuff, but anyway, I think it's fun to do all of this. It's very random, but it's still fun. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed watching the stream. It's been a long one, and unfortunately I didn't actually get a lot done. Sad face. But the hope is that I'm making progress. I feel almost all of the gaps have been closed in, and so I'm getting to that point where I can just start making all the decorations for it, get all of the murals on the ceiling, get all of the statues done, make a couple of tapestries or something in the chapels off to the side. Uh, you know, actually getting the story of everything done. So, yeah, thank you all for coming. I will see you next time. Goodbye!